Alright, so let us take 2000, the year 2000 question. That's question number 3. And it says if 2 square root of 3 minus square root of 2, everything all over square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 2 is equal to m plus n. Now we have to find the values of m and n respectively. So do yourself a favor, try to pause the video, solve it, and let's compare our options together. All right, go ahead and solve it. Okay, so solving this, the first thing we need to do, because already we need to rationalize because of the square roots that we have in the denominators. And to rationalize, we need to take the conjugate of this, multiply it with the numerator and also with the denominator. All right, so let's get started. So we've gotten this is the conjugate of this, so we're going to multiply it now. As usual, let's start expanding. So let's start with these 2 is here to multiply this other one, so it becomes 2 square root of 3 times square root of 3. So 2 times, we assume there's 1 here. Okay, let's have the multiplication part. That would help us. Let's just have the multiplication part. But you don't need to do this multiplication part in your exams. This one will multiply this, and it will also multiply this. All right, no need for you to create this multiplication part in your exams. They're just for the purpose of this class. Yeah, this other one here will come here, multiply here, and also it will move down, come here, and then multiply as well. So that's the multiplication path, and let's make use of it right now. Okay, so using the first multiplication path, 2 is here, and it's going to multiply square root of 3, and it's assumed that there's 1 here. So 2 times that 1 is 2. We have it as 2. Good. So now square root of 3 multiply square root of 3, and now we know square root of 3 times square root of 3, that will be 3. So times 3. Okay, so we are done with that one. Now let's get to the next one. The next thing will be for us to consider the sign. It's going to multiply this other one, but let's consider the sign. There's plus here, there's minus here. So plus times minus will give us minus. All right, so the next thing will be for us to multiply. Now we have 2 here, we have 2 here. So 2 times 2 will give us 4. Will give us 4. Okay, and then 3, the square root now, and times the square root of 2, that will be square root of 6. So we having there square root of 6. Okay, so we are done with that one. Let's get to the next one. The next one is square root of 2 times everything here. Let's consider the sign first. Very, very important. So the sign is minus here. So minus times plus, that will be here. That is here. That is minus. It's minus. Okay, so we have settled the sign, so we can proceed with our multiplication. So square root of 2 times square root of 3, and that will give us square root of 6. It will give us square root of 6. Let's use this. It will give us square root of 6. Let's have it here. Square root of 6. Okay, now minus is here, minus is here, so that will give us plus. That will give us plus here, and then it now says square root is assumed to be 1 here, and then it's assumed to be 1 here. So we now say the 1 here times this 2 here, that will be 2. Good. That will be 2. And then square root of 2 times square root of 2, that is 2. So we now say times 2. Times 2 here. Okay. Now we proceed to our denominator. Let's have it. To our denominator. And denominator, as I do tell you, no need for us to expand it like this because they are in conjugate already. So no need to expand it like that. What we simply do will just be for us to say first number here times the first number here, and then plus here times the minus the sign times the sign, and also we now say the last here times the last, and we are good. All right, so let's do that and see what we got, or we can have. All right, so doing that, we now have it that square root of 3 times square root of 3, of course, that will be 3. Square root of 3 times square root of 3, that will be 3. And the next thing is plus times minus, that will be minus, right? The last thing will be for us to say 2 here times 2 here. 2 here times 2 here, that will give us 4. That will give us 4. And now say square root of 2 times square root of 2, that will give us 2. So 4 here will be 4 times 2. Okay, so we are making progress. Now we will solve for this. 2 times 3. 2 times 3, that will give us 6. 2 times 3 will give us 6. Our sign will come, bring down our sign, and now look at something here. Now this has square root of 6 here, and this is square root of 6 here. So it is assumed, it is known, not just an assumption, it is known that there is 1 behind this. Yeah, there is 1 behind that, and no need for us to write it, but there's 1 behind that. So it will now become minus 4 minus 1. Okay, so minus 4 minus 1 will give us what? It will give us minus 5. Good. Good. Then the square root of 6 comes in, because it is the square root of 6 that helped us to do what we just did, the addition to the square root of 6. And okay, now we have our sign. We bring down our sign as the plus sign, and now our 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 4. 2 times 2 gives us 4. And let's get to our numerator. For then, let's have this. Okay, so our numerator is solving it out now, and let's bring down our 3. 3 is here, minus. Now let's have this minus. Now 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Good. Okay, so we can rearrange this. This 4 here will move over here. All right, with the sign will not change, because it is not crossing over the sign of equality. So what we're going to have now will be this 6 plus 4 is 10. We're going to have here 10. All right, 10, and then minus, bring down this, thus we bring down minus 5 square root of 6. Okay, let's have that, square root of 6. And now going to our denominator, and there's this all over 3 minus 5, that is 3 minus 8, that is minus 5. I was in a hurry to give the answer. Okay, that's minus 5. Okay, so 3 minus 8, that gave us minus 5 here, remember. Okay, so we said it, don't be tempted to subtract 5 from 10. Don't just for us to cancel it, we can break it down by saying 10 over the 5, then minus 5 over minus 5 square root of 6 over minus 5. So we go ahead to now divide. 5 cancels itself one time, comes into this 10 two times. Minus 5 cancels itself one time, comes into this 5 one time. But minus cancel, and it's now plus. So the answer that we have here, we now write it out as minus, because 2 over minus 1 is minus 2, right? So minus 2, and then this one here, because minus cancel is now plus, it becomes minus 2 plus 1, of course, with the square root of 6, equating with what we were given, m plus n, equating it. Now it means that this minus 2 here represents m, and the number behind this square root of 6 represents n. So our answer is minus 2 minus 1, and that was option B. All right, so let's take another catcher. See you in the next class.